Hey there, teachers, students. The way we think about the world, like the metaphor we're using, as well as Spaceship Earth, like along with Spaceship Earth, is global university. So, what if we look at the whole planet as a university and individual scenarios, what you and I go through, like a time tunnel through life, like a dark ride in a theme park, that's a work study scenario. We work, we study, right? And it's always about studying. It's like there's always way more that you don't know than that you do know. So if you're a teacher part time. You could say there's the role that you have as a teacher, and then there's the role that you have as a student. And I'm a lot a student. Like yesterday, I met in my backyard with these guys, and they all know tons of stuff I don't know, and I'm learning from them, right? This is a group that might be going forward with or without a certain nonprofit that isn't going to stick around, right? So we're talking that over. Now, here's polymath is how I want us to sort of extend the memes around the school of tomorrow that we're working on, right? I also call it elite school. It was actually handed to me with that as part of the name. So, like tonight, we have a class. There's a small group, right? These are kids who have a very good teacher to student ratio, and they're looking forward to high school. In a lot of cases, they're still at the start of their high school. And what I'm showing them are technologies available today that some of the better teachers that I've come across have been using for a while now. And one of those is Jupyter Notebooks, which implies a lot more. Like if you're using Jupyter Notebooks, good chance you're also using GitHub and Python or some other language for which the notebooks are set up. Like they'll accept these notebooks, several kernels. This is what we have as a code cell for Python, so I can run this. Now, this is on the GitHub website and therefore in the cloud and therefore read only, but my local copies of all of these are locally. And I'm saying, hey, this is really good technology that we need to be using at the high school level, and what teachers are with me on that. And I kind of am in recruiting mode. But while we're in the process of altering the curriculum, including a lot more cryptography and so on, I take advantage of that sort of shakeout. It's like, well, if we're changing this, we might as well change that. And really, a radical overhaul is indicated. But this is not a top down, like, hey, you got to do this at your school. This is no, we're creating schools from the ground up that work according to these new curriculum ideas. I associated Quakers and Quadres go together for me because Quakers have a tradition of creating schools and having countercultural curricula in the sense of when slavery was still legal pre Civil War, the Quakers were already teaching against it. And so if you wanted to hear anti slavery rhetoric, you might go to one of these newfangled Quaker schools where they kept it up, right? So this is the kind of stuff that's way outside of any high school today, even AP, Advanced Placement, and IB, International Baccalaureate. When you're going through your high school math class, you have, say, in some schools, the opportunity to do more with vectors and matrices, and that's because you're on the IB track, International Baccalaureate. All these choices still exist, right, in what I call the corporate schools. I don't call them American schools unless they actually do teach about the technological innovations of Bucky Fuller and his crowd. If that's all excluded, then it's what we call a law cap school, lawyer capitalism, which is on the way out. It's just a mark of obsolescence. And I'm not saying Marxism is taking over because, as you know, we're left without being Marxist or anti imperialist, you could say, like Mark Twain. But we come more directly from German idealism than Marxism, right? We don't go through that detour necessarily. So although I talk somewhat like I might be, Quakers are known to be kind of liberal because they were anti-slavery from the beginning, or not right from the beginning. Maybe they checked it out. Like George Fox went to Barbados and stuff, and what he saw there was dismaying to him. So Quakers ended up deciding they didn't want to be part of this, right? So anyway, just talking about history, and part of what we're doing here is teaching history. It's not exclusively any one subject. So what do I think people should be taught before college level? Well, this kind of thing, right? The concentric hierarchy from American transcendentalist prose and poetry, from the literary humanities side of our culture. So Hugh Kenner, check out E.J. Applewhite, and so on, right? There's a lot of literature here. Looking forward to the new Oliver Stone documentary and back to watching the news, learning about my world. Thanks, guys. Talk to you later.